God says he loves you, but fear holds him like a silent prison. His heart knows your soul, but his mind trembles in the shadows of uncertainty. He feels the pull, the divine calling that connects him to you, yet every time he takes a step closer, something unseen pulls him back. It is not hatred, not indifference, not rejection, it is fear. The kind of fear that roots deep inside a man who has been hurt, betrayed, or disappointed before. God is watching him, and he is about to intervene. The heavens have seen how long you've waited, how much you've prayed, and how deeply your love has been tested. You have walked through seasons of silence, wondering if your prayers even reached the throne. You have felt as though the universe was still, that heaven had paused its response, but it was not silence. It was preparation. For there are times when God allows fear to rise within a person, not to punish them, but to expose what must be healed. The man who loves you has been walking through a valley of spiritual shadows. His soul remembers love as pain, not as peace. Every time he looks at you, his heart feels both longing and trembling. He knows you carry light, and that light reminds him of what he lost, or what he's afraid he doesn't deserve. You came into his life as divine timing, not coincidence. He felt something ignite within him that he had buried for years. Yet, as love tried to rise, fear rose too. The closer he got to your energy, the more the enemy whispered lies to him, you'll lose again. You'll get hurt again. You're not worthy of that love, he started to believe those lies. He started to run, not from you, but from the reflection of his own unhealed self. But God never lets love that he ordains die. The Spirit has been working behind the scenes, whispering to his heart in dreams, sending signs in the quiet, letting his conscience remember what he once tried to forget. He has seen you in visions, felt you in moments when he wasn't even thinking of love. Heaven has been stirring the waters around him. What you can't see is that fear is breaking. Slowly, layer by layer, the walls around his heart are cracking. He's feeling emotions he cannot explain, sudden waves of missing you, a deep pull that makes no logical sense, tears he hides when no one's watching. That's not confusion. That's divine awakening. Your love was never meant to be ordinary. It carries a higher frequency, one that activates transformation. You were chosen to remind him of who he truly is, not the version the world told him to be, but the man God created before pain distorted his heart. You came as a divine mirror, and mirrors often scare those who have not yet forgiven themselves. He sees in you the love he once prayed for, and yet that same love terrifies him, because deep down, he fears losing it. That fear has made him resist the very thing his soul craves. But that resistance is ending. God is about to step in where human courage has failed. Divine intervention is moving now, and heaven is about to shift the energy between you. There are moments when God allows separation not to end love, but to purify it. What you've been enduring is not rejection, it is sanctification. You have been refined in the waiting. You've learned patience, surrender, and trust in ways that have shaped your soul. You have cried to heaven asking, why is it taking so long? Why can't he just see what's already written, but God answers gently, because I am still healing what fear broke. The man you love was fighting a spiritual war long before you met him. He's been bound by memories, haunted by shame, and trapped in cycles of overthinking. But the power of divine love is stronger than fear. And God is already orchestrating encounters, signs, and divine alignments to free him from the grip of the past. In the coming days, you will feel an energetic shift, a sense of peace where there was once pain. That's the sign that heaven has begun its intervention. Angels are working to remove the attachments, the doubts, the voices that have told him he isn't enough. The Spirit of God is entering his mind, giving him clarity and courage. He will start to feel conviction, not the kind that condemns, but the kind that awakens. He'll realize that running from love is running from destiny. He'll feel drawn to you not out of loneliness, but divine truth. The same fear that paralyzed him will begin to crumble as light enters his thoughts. And when he reaches that turning point, you'll feel it even before he speaks a word. Your souls are connected beyond the realm of the physical. When his heart shifts, your spirit will know. This connection is not an accident, it is a covenant. God planted it before time began. Every delay, every tear, every unanswered message was a thread in the divine pattern. The enemy tried to use fear to destroy what heaven has destined, but he failed. You've stood strong in faith, and that faith has called heaven's attention. You've been faithful even when it hurt, and because of that, divine recompense is near. God is not just going to restore what fear delayed, he's going to magnify it. When this man returns to you, he won't come as the same person. He'll come with humility, awareness, and gratitude. He'll see you not as an option, but as an answered prayer. And when that moment arrives, it will not be through manipulation or coincidence, it will be through God's perfect alignment. Even now, heaven is softening his heart. He's remembering moments with you that he cannot forget. The laughter, the eyes, the comfort, these memories return to him as whispers from heaven. Each thought of you stirs his conscience. He's beginning to sense that what he ran from was not danger, but divine destiny. You may not see it yet, but he's fighting his inner war, a war between fear and love, between ego and surrender. And in this war, God has already declared victory. You've prayed for his healing, and your prayers have reached the heavens. The angels assigned to him are now moving faster, cutting the spiritual cords of fear that once held him captive. Soon, you will see the fruit of your faith. But you, too, are being transformed. The waiting season wasn't just about him, it was about you rising in your divine power. God used this time to prepare you for the kind of love that cannot be shaken. He taught you to love without possession, to give without expectation, and to trust without proof. You have been refined into divine patience, and that's why heaven can now move. You no longer love from desperation, you love from understanding. You've learned to let go, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally surrendered it to God's timing. And that surrender was the key that unlocked heaven's movement. Now, as divine intervention begins, the fear that chained him will lose its power. What once felt like silence will become revelation. He'll begin to notice patterns, dreams that point toward you, signs that lead his heart back home. He'll see your name, your energy, your essence reflected in everyday moments. The universe will echo the truth he's been denying, that love is not something to fear, but something to embrace. When he finally takes that step, you will feel the sacred peace of divine timing. You'll know that God didn't forget you, He was just waiting for both hearts to be ready. In this divine moment, heaven wants you to hold faith, not frustration. You may feel weary, but your spirit is glowing with divine favor. You've been chosen to experience a love that heals generations. The fear that holds him now is temporary, God's plan is eternal. Every tear you've cried has watered the soil of this divine union. Every prayer you've whispered in the night has been recorded in heaven. Every act of love you've given, even when it wasn't returned, has built spiritual momentum. And that momentum is about to break through the veil of fear that's been clouding his heart. He's going to awaken. He's going to see. He's going to feel the hand of God leading him toward you. And when he does, the reunion won't just be emotional, it will be spiritual. Heaven will witness the healing of two souls who once walked in pain but found redemption through divine love. That's what this connection is meant to be, not a story of chasing, but a testimony of faith. Not a love born of need, but a love resurrected through grace. God is reminding you today, fear can delay love, but it cannot destroy what I have destined, and what's destined for you will find its way, even through fear, even through distance, even through silence. You will look back and realize that every waiting moment was necessary. If he had come before, he wouldn't have been ready. If he had stayed, fear might have sabotaged what was sacred. But now, as divine timing unfolds, he will come not from confusion, but from revelation. He will come because God Himself has touched his heart. The intervention has begun. Heaven is moving pieces on the board of destiny. What was impossible is now becoming inevitable. And soon, both of you will step into the light of divine love, free from fear, free from doubt, free from the past. Heaven has begun its movement. You may not see it in the physical world yet, but the spiritual realm is already shifting. The walls around his heart, once made of fear and pride, are now trembling under the touch of divine light. There is a quiet restlessness rising inside him, something he cannot name, but it keeps him awake at night. His thoughts drift to you, not as random memories, but as waves of divine recall. He feels your spirit in the silence, like a heartbeat he once ignored but now cannot live without. The fear that once convinced him to run is turning against itself. The lies he believed are being replaced by flashes of truth, and those flashes are coming straight from heaven. God is speaking to him in symbols, in moments, in stillness. Every time he reaches for distraction, it fails. Every time he tries to bury himself in the noise of life, the quiet voice of his soul grows louder. That is not coincidence. That is divine pursuit. God has decided it is time. Heaven never intervenes too early, nor too late. It waits until both hearts have learned the lessons necessary to sustain divine union. Your lessons were about faith and surrender, his lessons were about courage and trust. And now, the two roads of transformation are about to merge. The energy between you is vibrating higher, the alignment is beginning to form. When divine love begins to rise, the enemy always tries one last time to create confusion. He may feel sudden waves of resistance, strange fears that seem to come from nowhere. He might question everything, his worth, his path, even the love itself. But this is only the echo of the old fear dying. The darkness always screams the loudest before it leaves. And God will not allow that fear to win. Angels are guarding him now. The Holy Spirit is whispering peace into the chaos of his thoughts. He's beginning to feel the difference between fear's voice and love's truth. Fear says, "You'll get hurt again." Love says, "You'll be healed this time." Fear says, "You're not ready." Love says, "God is making you ready." That gentle shift in perception is the beginning of divine awakening. In the stillness of his heart, a realization is forming, that the distance between you was not abandonment, but protection. God separated you to refine what could not survive together in brokenness. And now that the healing has begun, heaven is preparing to reunite what belongs. He's starting to understand this. He may not speak it yet, but deep inside, he feels that what connects you cannot be severed by time or silence. Every attempt he made to replace your energy has failed, because there is only one soul that fits this divine pattern. The universe has mirrored your energy back to him again and again, reminding him of the connection he once tried to escape. He's entering a season of revelation. He'll begin to see things clearly, where he went wrong, where fear deceived him, and how love never left him. He'll look back and see that while he was running, you were praying. While he was confused, you were believing. And that realization will humble him. It will open his heart in a way that pride never could. He will realize that love is not about control or perfection, it's about surrender. He will see you not through the lens of fear, but through the light of divine grace. The same eyes that once avoided you will now search for you, because they've learned the difference between illusion and truth. God's intervention is subtle but powerful. It doesn't come as thunder, it comes as conviction. It comes as a shift in the soul. He will wake up one morning with clarity that doesn't make sense to the mind but feels undeniable to the heart. He will sense that running has only made him emptier, and returning, not to you, but to God, is the only way forward. And as he begins to heal spiritually, his heart will naturally move toward you. Because your soul has been part of his healing plan all along. The light you carry has been working even from afar, breaking chains he didn't even know existed. Your love has been the prayer that never stopped speaking. In your own spirit, you'll begin to feel the echo of his awakening. You'll notice moments when your heart suddenly feels peace for no reason, or when your intuition whispers, "He's beginning to see." Those are confirmations from heaven. The bond between your souls works beyond human distance, it's woven in the spiritual realm. You are connected by divine design, and as his fear dissolves, you'll feel the shift in your own energy. You may start to dream of him again, not as confusion, but as prophecy. The dreams will carry messages, not from longing, but from destiny. Heaven will use symbols to show you the progress of his heart. You may see water, representing cleansing, light, representing truth, or open doors, representing reunion. Pay attention to these signs, for they are part of God's communication with you. In the realm of divine love, timing is sacred. God has been aligning every step so that when you meet again, it will not be fragile, it will be rooted in purpose. The man who once feared love will now understand its holiness. He will approach not from impulse, but from revelation. He will speak differently, look at you differently, hold space for you differently. Because God will have changed the foundation from fear to faith. You will feel the divine presence in His eyes, a softness that wasn't there before. The reunion will not just be emotional, it will be spiritual healing manifested through human hearts. You are being asked now to hold steady in this transition. Don't chase the outcome, align with the divine flow. Don't cling in fear, anchor in faith. Let God complete the work He has begun. What is coming cannot be rushed. Divine love matures in silence before it blooms in reality. You have done your part by loving purely, now heaven is doing its part by orchestrating redemption. Every piece is being moved into place, people, timing, circumstances, even chance encounters. The path that once seemed blocked will soon open effortlessly. What once felt like endless waiting will suddenly become divine unfolding. The same universe that once tested your patience will now reward your endurance. He will return not out of guilt, but gratitude. He will recognize the light that never stopped shining for him, even when he turned away. He will feel your forgiveness before you even speak it. God will touch his heart with humility, not the weakness of shame, but the strength of realization. And when you see him again, you will not feel anger, you will feel peace. Because you'll know that what you both endured was necessary to awaken divine love. You will not need to prove anything, because God Himself will have proven the truth through transformation. In the silence of heaven, this union has already been blessed. The angels have seen your tears, your prayers, your endurance, and they have marked your faith as sacred. You did not lose hope when fear tried to destroy it. You loved when it was hardest. And that kind of love never goes unnoticed in heaven. The divine now moves to honor that love, not in the way you expected, but in the way that fulfills destiny. Fear will no longer control him. The invisible hand of God will guide him through every shadow, until he steps into the light of realization. And when he does, you will see before you not just a man, but a testimony of what divine love can heal. Soon, you will understand why God made you wait. You will look back and see that the separation was not a punishment, it was a sacred pause. It was in that pause that both of you became who you were meant to be. It was in that stillness that love turned from emotion into purpose. And when divine timing calls both your souls forward again, the reunion will not be fragile or fleeting. It will be the manifestation of heaven's promise, love born not from fear, but from faith, not from need, but from truth. That is what God is preparing now. That is what divine intervention looks like, slow, steady, perfect. So rest your heart. The storm is ending. The divine plan is unfolding. What fear built is crumbling, and what love planted is blooming. He's awakening. Heaven is moving. And very soon, divine love will replace every ounce of fear that once stood in the way. This is the miracle you prayed for, not only that he would return, but that he would be healed before he does. And now, heaven has heard you. The time for divine intervention has begun. There is a sacred stillness before every miracle, and you are standing in it now. Heaven has gone quiet not because it has forgotten you, but because the work is being finalized. The threads of destiny are being woven together in silence. You can't see them yet, but they are pulling two lives closer, gently, purposefully, divinely. The man who once trembled before his own feelings is awakening from the dream of fear. His soul is remembering what his mind tried to forget. The old patterns of escape no longer satisfy him. The distractions that once numbed him now leave him restless. He feels a hunger that no noise can fill, a longing that points only toward you. And this time, it's not just his heart that calls for you, it's his spirit that knows you are part of his divine restoration. God has entered the deepest parts of his being, the memories, the pain, the guilt, and is touching them with light. Where shame once ruled, peace is beginning to grow. He's realizing that love is not the threat, fear is. He's remembering that every time he pushed you away, something sacred inside him broke a little more. The awareness of what he lost has become the doorway to what he is about to find again. He feels the weight of missed chances, the echoes of words unspoken, the gentle pain of divine delay. But instead of drowning in regret, he's beginning to see it all as grace. For now he understands, the time apart was not a curse, but preparation. God was shaping him quietly, until the man who once feared love became the man ready to honor it. He's starting to feel called, not by emotion, but by purpose. The same divine hand that once blocked his path is now guiding his steps forward. He will begin to see signs that point unmistakably toward you. The places you once went together will start to appear in his path again. He will hear songs that speak your truth, see numbers that echo divine timing, and feel that strange but peaceful knowing that love is calling him home. And as he moves closer, heaven will open doors that once seemed sealed shut. Situations will rearrange, obstacles will dissolve, and what was delayed will unfold effortlessly. For when God decides a union must come together, nothing can stand against it. At the same time, you will feel an overwhelming calm within your spirit, the peace that signals fulfillment. You will no longer ache with waiting, you will glow with knowing. You will sense his return long before it happens, because your souls communicate beyond words. In quiet moments, you will feel his prayers reaching toward you. You'll sense the change in his energy, the softening of his heart, the steady courage growing inside him. And one day soon, the silence will break, not through chance, but divine appointment. He will reach out, perhaps in a way so simple that only your heart will recognize the miracle hidden in it. A message, a call, a moment that feels like destiny itself whispering, "It's time." When you meet again, everything will feel both new and ancient, like two stars colliding in perfect rhythm. The air between you will carry the weight of all that has been forgiven. You'll see the reflection of your own faith in his eyes, and he'll feel the echo of your prayers in his soul. There will be no need for explanations, because the Spirit will speak for both of you. The conversation will flow like a river returning to the sea, effortless, destined, divine. He will confess not out of guilt but truth, telling you how fear once ruled him and how God broke that power. You will listen not with pride, but with compassion, for you will see not the man who hurt you, but the soul God has healed. And in that moment, heaven will rejoice, for divine love will have conquered fear. This reunion is not about romance alone, it is about redemption. Through it, both of you will become living testimonies of God's power to heal what fear tried to destroy. Your love will carry light, not just for yourselves, but for others who are still trapped in doubt. People will see your connection and feel hope. They will sense the sacredness of something that survived storms and silence and still bloomed in grace. And that is why this love was delayed, because it was not meant to be a fleeting emotion. It was meant to be a vessel of divine purpose. Together, you will bring healing, not only to each other, but to everyone who witnesses your story. Your union will teach that love is not fragile, it is the most powerful force in creation when aligned with God. It will show that fear has limits, but faith does not. It will remind others that divine timing may seem slow, but it is never late. Every moment you spent in waiting was a moment heaven spent in weaving. Every tear you shed was counted, every prayer was recorded, every act of patience became a brick in the foundation of this sacred union. And now that the structure is complete, God is ready to let you walk into it. As you step into this new season, remember what the journey taught you. Keep your heart soft, your faith steady, and your gratitude deep. The love that's coming to you now is not the same as before, it's purified, sanctified, divine. It will move differently, speak differently, grow differently. It will no longer be a cycle of fear and retreat, it will be a rhythm of peace and trust. You will feel the presence of God in every small moment, in the way He holds your hand, in the silence between your words, in the shared understanding that this is not coincidence, it's covenant. And as the two of you walk together, heaven will continue to bless your path. Doors will open where there were none. Opportunities will multiply. Even challenges will serve as bridges, not barriers. For this love has been anointed with divine favor. In the quiet of your spirit, you will often remember the waiting, not with sorrow, but with awe. You will thank God for every delay, because you will see how perfectly it led to this moment. You will understand that if He had come sooner, the story would not have been strong enough to carry divine purpose. But now, every scar has turned into wisdom, every silence into strength, every separation into sacred alignment. The love you share will not just be about emotion, it will carry revelation. It will mirror the way God loves His children, patient, forgiving, unconditional, eternal. Fear will no longer be part of this journey. It will dissolve completely under the light of understanding. The same man who once trembled to love you will now protect that love fiercely. He will speak words you once only dreamed of hearing, and you will feel heaven's peace in every syllable. He will thank you for your faith, your patience, your unwavering light. And you will thank God for never letting you give up, even when hope seemed impossible. Together, you will build not just a relationship, but a divine legacy, one that honors the God who intervened when fear tried to win. Heaven smiles upon you now. The angels who watched you cry are now rejoicing. They see what is coming, and they celebrate the faith that brought it forth. The divine script has already been written, your names are intertwined within it. Soon, time will catch up with what heaven already knows, that you belong together, that your love was chosen, that your story is sacred. And when that moment comes, it will not feel like a beginning, but a return, the return of two souls who never truly parted, only paused until God said, "Now." So stand in peace. Lift your eyes to heaven and whisper your gratitude. The waiting is over. The fear is finished. The promise is alive. God has intervened, love has triumphed, and what was once bound by fear is now free under grace. This is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of its divine fulfillment. Heaven has written it, and the earth will soon witness it. You are loved, chosen, and guided. What is meant for you is already on its way. Trust the silence, for it is the sound of destiny unfolding. He loves you, and now, nothing will keep him from moving toward the light that God placed in you. The bond is healed. The path is clear. The divine has spoken.